Can you please tell me about the Come From Away concert at the Lincoln Memorial?
Yeah, the Come From Away concert at the Lincoln Memorial was unbelievable. It was, I don't know if I will ever forget how incredible that was. It was, first of all, such a rush to get back into, we had only started rehearsals for the Broadway about 3 days before. And so we did about 3-4 days of rehearsal for the Broadway company and then jumped to the concert version, which is a completely different set of choreography, blocking. It's not as much dancing, but there's, and no chairs, but you still have to, do do-si-dos with the microphones and moving around and stuff. So learning a whole new show. And we had Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday to learn the show in its entirety. Thursday, we ran it for the Broadway company and Chris Ashley and Kelly, and all our creatives and producers. And then Thursday afternoon, we left to go to DC. So then Friday morning, we did basically like a sound check and run through, in front of it. No, it's wide open space, the National Mall. So there were a lot of people there. And it was kind of crazy to do that with, just all of this exposure before even starting the concert. The craziest thing was there's all this noise because there's planes flying over constantly. And, which is funny with our show, having all these planes flying over, and there was massive wind. So the scaffolding and the flags that they had were like flapping and making all this noise. And there were water hawkers there, like ice cold water, ice cold water. So it was a really crazy experience up until the concert itself, because it was such a whirlwind. It was only 4 days of preparation, really, and just a lot of trust that you would get it right and do honor to the story. And then on Friday night when we did the concert, I can't even begin to really describe it, except that Peter Marks, who wrote an article for the Washington Post about the concert, I think he captured it really well, sort of what the feeling was. You just could feel how people just wanted to sort of connect with something and with each other, and being outdoors and in front of the Lincoln Memorial, such a source of comfort and leadership and freedom, is sort of, this amazing momentous thing to be doing. And then you could see the Pentagon memorial light shining into the air, and the planes were flying through the path of the light. It just was incredible. And that was all before we started. So everyone kept saying, like, soak it in. This is such an experience. And I found myself sort of soaking it in too much. I decided I had to kind of like stop for a moment and say, well, this isn't me. This is Beulah. I'm here to tell Beulah's story. So this isn't about me soaking it in. I just need to go out there and tell this story. And it was just incredible. It was truly a once in a lifetime experience I will never forget.
What did it mean for you to perform there one day before the 20th anniversary of 9/11?
I was actually at the Trade Center on 9/11. And so for me, the 20th anniversary, I think, was heavier than some of the anniversaries. And knowing that we were going to go and tell this story right at that time, on the eve of that, also returning to Washington, where I lived when I actually first booked Come From Away, and I first covered for Come From Away, but never went on in DC. It was all sort of this big kind of historical feeling of importance and I wouldn't say like melancholy, but just, all of that history really came with me. It's more important than ever to get that right, and also to make people understand how we are going to continuously go through experiences like this, where we just need one another, especially what we've been through, what we've all been through in the last year and a half. So I felt the weight of that a tremendous amount. It meant the world to me to be able to do something positive for 9/11 and that anniversary, because of, particularly from my own experience, it's always such a sad day. And even when I think, oh, I'll be okay, I'm good today, there's just a residual feeling that I have, and I know other people feel it when they come see the show. You can, around that time of year, you can feel it from, you can feel that depth of emotion. So it really meant the world to be able to bring some beauty and light and music to such a difficult anniversary and coming out of such a terrible, terrible year. And we also felt very lucky to be some of the only people getting to perform Come From Away around the 20th anniversary. We were some of the only people doing that and being able to spread the goodness of the story on that terrible day.
What did it feel like to perform again in front of a live audience after an 18 months pandemic shutdown?
It felt crazy. I mean, it just felt, it was, very different because it was outdoors and there was a sort of a VIP section that was closer seating to us, but still was very far away compared to what it is at our theater. And then there's just these stretches of people going down the sides of the reflecting pool. So it was at once like so much bigger and yet so much farther away. Like you almost felt like that removedness of, the isolation, like you wanted to sort of be with people, but you still felt a little bit separated from that, which in a way was really good with all of that historical stuff going on and the emotional extra that is like not having performed in 18 months. And, but it just was crazy. It was sort of like being surrounded and in the environment of an audience, but not really with them the same way that you couldn't really like pick out to make your when we break the fourth wall and really talk to people, you couldn't really do that because you couldn't really see people very close. So it at once made it like less intimate but more enormous and community oriented, and I thought that was really, really cool. I'm sure I will not experience that in my lifetime.
Happy, what's in your opinion the main message of Come From Away, and why does it resonate with so many people?
I think the main message in Come From Away is it takes so little of our own efforts to make a huge difference, to make, virtually a life shift in somebody else's life. If you offer somebody a sandwich on a day that they are thinking, I haven't eaten in 2 days, you can completely change their life. And I think that's the huge resonance for me, is that I think, especially in a world that's so overwhelming and overwhelmed with problems and strife and division, that the smallest thing that you can do, it's not that it's going to save the world, but it might change the day or the world for one person on that day. And it's so little that we do to help each other can make such a difference. I think that resonates especially now because we've all spent so much time apart from each other, and there has been so much division and strife and revelations of terribly buried feelings about things that we didn't realize were hurting each other so badly, that now it is opening that floodgate of, well, I can do this. I'm not perfect and I've not done enough, or I've not helped enough, but I can just do this one little thing, and maybe that will make a difference. And I think that's an incredible way for us to start, because we sure have a long way to go.
Thank you very much, Happy, for making time for me.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Aline. I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad you're doing well.
Can't wait to see you on stage again. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.